at some images now. Have a look at this picture. Before we discuss what you can see in the picture, I want to know where this is, or what you would call this landscape. Pause and answer. So you might have said the beach, or sometimes you could say the coast, which means to be by the sea. Maybe you said sea, maybe you said ocean, maybe you said island. Let's talk about what's in the picture. Okay, we're going to go from the top, across, all the way to the bottom. So the first thing at the top that the arrow is pointing to, what is that? Pause and answer. It is, of course, some clouds. Clouds. Okay, we have lots of clouds in London. Grey, full of clouds in the sky. Okay, let's go to this side now and have a look. What is that? Right at the back, kind of in the shadows. Pause and answer. Those are mountains. Mountain, or a mountain. Well done. Let's go under clouds now. What is that? I actually briefly mentioned it, I think, on the previous slide. Pause and answer. It's a tree, but specifically a palm tree or a coconut tree, I think. Could even be a banana tree. I can't see quite so close. What's next? Underneath mountain, do you see there's a fin coming out of the water? Something coming out of the water. Maybe you can see it properly, better than I can. Pause and answer. It's a shark. A shark. Okay, next, under trees, what comes next? What is that body of water called? Pause and answer. It's called the sea. Okay, what's in the sea that's pointed to underneath shark, that white part? What is that called? Pause and answer. It's called a wave. Okay, those are waves. And finally, what is that? Before the water comes there, it's the sand. Well done. So now we can describe a coastal landscape or a beach landscape really well. Right, let's look at the next landscape now. What would you call this? Pause and let me know. Well, maybe you said jungle. Maybe you said forest. Maybe you said rainforest. Okay, but we can call it all of those things right now. Let's go through what we can see. Starting at the top again, what is that? Pause and answer. That's a tree again. Well done. Next, it's right at the back. If you can see where the arrow is pointing to, that water that's coming down. We've already talked about it. Pause and answer. It's a waterfall. Okay, what is next? It's part of a tree. What is it called? Pause and answer. It's a branch. A branch. Okay. What is that underneath a waterfall or sitting on the tree? Pause and answer. It's a parrot. Okay, that is a parrot, which is a type of bird, usually the ones that can speak. And maybe you've seen a parrot before. Okay, next, underneath the branch, what animal is that? Oh, actually, sorry, not an animal, I don't think. We're looking for what's all of that green stuff. Pause and answer. It is grass, lots and lots and lots of grass. Okay, what about next? What animal is that next to the parrot? It's a little bit of a tricky one. You might not know this animal. Pause and answer. It's a sloth. Have you ever heard of that? A sloth. They're very slow animals and they live in the rainforest, particularly in Brazil, in the Amazon rainforest. Okay, and finally, two more to go. What is that animal on the grass, walking around? Pause and answer. That's a turtle. That's a turtle. And finally, what are those kind of grey things that you can see in the grass? Pause and answer. They are rocks or boulders, sometimes we can say. Okay, let's move on to see if we know what some of our words from our environment list mean. So you have a group of words at the top. I want to see if you can fill in the blanks, okay? I'm going to give you a few minutes just to do this by yourself, and then we will go through all the answers. So pause and have a go at them all now. Well, I hope you're able to do some of them at least, but don't worry, we're going to go through all of them now. So number one, something is the release of harmful materials into the environment. What is the release? What definition is that? Which word is that for? It is pollution. Pollution is the release of harmful materials into the environment. We could have air pollution where we release smoke. We could have water pollution where we put things in the water. We could have land pollution where we litter and throw rubbish on the ground. Number two, our paper, glass and plastic. We can recycle our paper, glass and plastic. Recycle means to use it again in a different form, okay? Maybe we will reuse a plastic bottle, but if we recycled it, we would send it off, it would be made back into plastic or glass or whatever it was, and then used again for another product. That is recycling. Number three, if we act now, we can stop the effect of climate change. I'm sure you've learned about climate change. It means the climate in our world is changing, the world is getting hotter, and lots of things are becoming more difficult in the environment. So we need to stop climate change. Number four, by driving cars less, we can reduce traffic, of course. Oh, a lot of traffic in India, isn't there? I would know as well. So we want to reduce traffic because it's not good for the air, it's not good for noise pollution, and we need to cut that down. And finally, petrol cars are causing huge environmental damage. So petrol is sometimes what fuels the car, it's a type of gas, and that can cause a lot of damage. Okay, well done. You learned so many words. I hope it's not too many for you to keep in your brain, but we're going to practice them with our grammar rule next.